Hello students, and welcome to step 2 of chapter 14. As I mentioned, chapter 14 covers forms. Now in this step we're going to actually learn how to create forms. This is what you need to learn, so you're going to have to follow along on this one. So I have the Starbuzz folder open, and this is the contents of the Starbuzz folder. There are 2 HTML pages, a CSS page, and an images folder that contains a variety of images, okay? So what I want you to do is open up form.html in a browser, and this is what it looks like. We're going to put our form underneath this text, okay? And then I want you to open up form.html in Notepad++, okay? So I've already done that, and here's what it looks like. So the only thing in the body of our page right now is those 2 lines of text that you saw on the page. The Starbuzz Bean Machine, which is in an H1 tag, and fill out the form below, which we're going to do right now. Now the items that we're going to have on our form, there are 6 items. I'm going to break this into 3 steps. This step is step 2, and there are 6 different input items on the form. The first one being a select drop-down menu. The second one is select radio buttons. The third is select checkboxes. The fourth is customer comments. The fifth is text box input, so the user inputs in a text box. And then the last one is just buttons to submit the form or reset the form. Okay? So we're going to do the first 2 in this step. So the first thing we need to do is we need to open the form. And not only are we opening the form, but we're also taking the action as to what the form is going to do and where it's going to go. Now, as I mentioned, normally here the action would be set to send it to a PHP page, but we're not covering PHP in this class. So we're just going to send it back to the home page, which in this case is index.html, which is in the same folder as form.html. So there's no, we don't have to put images / or / or any of that stuff. Okay, and the method is now, it wouldn't matter in this case because we're sending it back to the home page, but let's put post, because that's normally what a form does. You post the information that is in the form, okay? And then of course we're going to close the bracket. Now the first thing, as I mentioned, is going to be a drop-down selection. So let's put everything in a P tag so it looks nice. So open P, and then we're going to type the words choose your beans, : that'll show up on the page. And then we're going to open select name equals bean. Okay? Now this would be the name that it contains on the server. Okay? So now we're going to give it some options. So option value equals, and the first one's going to be house blend, close quote, and then house blend, okay, and then close option. Now I'm going to do a lot of copying and pasting in here because I don't feel like repeating the typing over and over again. So Control C, Control V, and change the value of house blend to Bolivia. And shade grown Bolivia for this one. Shade grown Bolivia. Okay, and then we're going to have a third option, and this one is going to be, let me see, Guatemala. And the text here is going to say organic Guatemala. Now remember, what we're typing here is what's going to be the options in the drop down, okay? And we're going to put one more. So we'll have 4 items in our drop down menu. This one is going to be Kenya. And the text is just simply going to say Kenya. All right, now we have to close the select, because we opened the select up here, so we have to close the select. And then we have to obviously close the p tag. All right, So let's take a look and see what this looks like. Control S here, and then go back to the page where the form exists and refresh your page. Now you'll see you have 4 options to select from the drop-down menu. Okay? So that's drop-down select. So the second one we're going to do, let's reopen Notepad++, and I'm going to hit enter twice here. The next one we're going to do is radio select. So radio selection is Boolean. So you can't have more than one selected. All right? So there's going to be 2 options on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to open a P tag again, and then we're going to type TYPE in this case, colon, and then I'm going to put a BR tag here because I want to create a line break. Okay, and remember we have to have the space / in our line breaks now. And then we're going to put input type equals radio. It's going to be a radio button. Okay, and the name equals, and this is for the purpose of the server, bean type. Close quote. And the value for this one is going to be whole. So it's either going to be whole bean or ground. Okay, so we'll put whole, and then / and then we're going to put whole bean, which is going to be the actual text next to the radio button. And then we want a BR tag to go to the next line. So BR space / bracket. Okay, now again, a lot of this is repetitive, so I'm going to highlight this line here, Control C, hit enter and paste. And all I'm going to do, now it's still a radio button, it's still bean type. The only thing I want to change here is ground, from whole to ground. Okay, and then of course we're going to, now I'm going to get rid of the BR tag because this is the last line. There's only 2 options here, so it's just going to simply say ground. And then of course you know that I have to close a tag, and that tag is the P tag. Okay, so that's the second item in our form. So Control S, and let's take a look at our form again. It's starting to build. So now we have a type. So we want organic Guatemala and we want ground. Okay? So we made 2 selections on our form. All right? So this is going to end step 2 of chapter 14. Thanks for watching.